Welcome to ProustMyStartup, the podcast that offers you a glimpse at the personalities of the people that make the local startup ecosystem in Malaysia. I'm Vanessa Mouledous, aka brandshifu with an H on Instagram, the founder of North Branding Consulting Boutique Agency. I'm a brand strategist, 24/7 immersed by the sides of entrepreneurs, startups, and SME founders. As a brand consultant, a mentor, but also an entrepreneur program facilitator, an investment jury, and a business angel. In ProustMyStartup, I want to really discover who are the people that make our local startup ecosystem. Because I'm a brand strategist, I want to understand how their personal brand might influence or shape the corporate brand of their organization. Today's episode is recorded from CloudMile's Center of Excellence in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia.
Startups thrive on innovation, and CloudMile is here to fuel that journey. As a leading AI and cloud technology company in Asia, they help businesses drive digital transformation and growth, leveraging machine learning, big data, and cloud solutions. With a team made up of certified technical experts and a strong network of technology partners, including being one of just 40 Google Cloud Managed Services providers globally, CloudMile has supported more than 1,200 companies through consulting, technical, and managed services. I've seen it firsthand with my own mentees, tech startup founders. The Center of Excellence in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia, now offers startups a collaborative space to explore generative AI, data management, security, and more, and advance their digital competitiveness with cloud and AI adoption. So if, like them, you want to experience it yourself, visit today my.cloud. Now back to our episode. Today's guest is Dhakshinamoorthy, the CEO and founder of The Good Enough Entrepreneur and Act 2. So buckle up and let's take a deep dive. Welcome, Dash, to ProustMyStartup. Really glad you are on board with us today.
Thank you, Vanessa. Very honored to be here.
Thank you. So Dash, I just met him actually a few days ago, last week, I think. Yes. Week. So I heard the name Dash, of course, like who hasn't in the ecosystem? Dash is a veteran of our ecosystem in a good way because he was one of the very first, I think, to create that ecosystem and still in. So very resilient. Now he has launched a few companies. First one was the Good Enough Entrepreneur that I think a lot of people have heard about.
That's a community. Yeah.
It's a community. Yeah. And now he is launching, or he has launched actually, Act 2, which we will touch base on later in the podcast. So I'm really glad to have one of the few that knew the really early stage of this ecosystem. And he's a ton of knowledge when it comes to the ecosystem, how to build one, and what he has seen here in Malaysia, but also abroad. Yeah?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So first question for you, Dash, is have you ever heard of the Proust questionnaire?
I've heard of Marcel Proust.
Yeah.
I have not heard of the Proust questionnaire.
Okay.
But after I had the messages with you, so I've heard.
Now you know better.
Now I've heard of the Proust.
Exactly. And you're one of the, I think you're the first guest to know Proust,
right.
Which is fantastic coming from Malaysia because we're so distant from France.
Right.
So I really appreciate that. It's a novelty for me.
Yeah, I really enjoy philosophy. So I've read How Proust Can Save Your Life by Alain de Botton. Yeah.
You told me so indeed, and I need to read it.
Yes, beautiful book.
So basically, we will go through that very same questionnaire.
Okay.
The 100 plus year old questionnaire. So Proust took it himself.
Okay.
And we're going to do the very same thing here.
Okay.
And you will see the questions are pretty universal.
Okay.
Some might be dated a bit, so we will need to just tweak it a little bit to today. Okay. But most of them are really still valid. So it's a beautiful questionnaire.
I hope I pass Proust's test.
I think there's no right or wrong. So you will see it's very reflective exercise here.
I look forward.
Ready?
Yeah.
Okay. So question number 1 is, what is your idea of perfect happiness?
Interesting question. I feel that, firstly, happiness is not an idea. It's a choice that you make, right? the choice is that whether you want to be happy or calm. More than happiness, to me, it's about being calm and not affected by the external factors, right? But if you ask me what is my idea of a perfect happiness, it's definitely to wake up beside my wife, have a nice cup of coffee, have a good, nice conversation with her, be surrounded by books, and doing some meaningful work, and a long swim in the ocean. And sometimes
Nice.
is my one of my go-tos. Yeah.
Okay, that's a nice reality of happiness then.
Yes, thank you.
Now, what is your greatest fear?
Yeah. Okay. The greatest fear is to run out of time. To check out before you could do what you really want to do. And then again, as I'm getting older, fear is something again that you project to the future, because when you project something to the future, then you have a fear. I try to live as much as possible in the here and now. So you could say that I have very little fear. I just do what I need to do. Yeah, that's right.
That is nice.
Yeah.
What is the trait you most deplore in yourself?
Impatience.
It's related probably to the second question.
Yeah. So sometimes I a little impatient. I want to do things fast. Also, yeah, that's right. I think impatience. Impatient about sometimes people don't get what I'm trying to say.
Understand.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, what is the trait you most despise? Oh, deplore, sorry. What is the trait you most deplore in others?
A trait I deploy in others.
Yeah.
Okay. I try not to deplore people as much as possible, but arrogance is something that I deplore in others. The sense of ambition without uh, direction or meaning. I just want to make money or those kind of thing. I get very disturbed by that. But
Understand.
I just stay away from it. Yeah.
I understand a bit of the empty purpose.
Empty
say.
noise.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
Now, which living person do you most admire? And it can be someone famous, someone around you.
I really admire an uncle of mine who basically is what I would call Alan used to call an ordinary genius. That means he's got a lot of presence. You can talk to him anything, and there is a lot of listening. He holds the space for listening. I like people with that kind of attribute. People who are present, who are always holding space for you to express yourself and not non-judgmental. So anytime I see people like that, I'm drawn to them. Yeah.
I understand.
Yeah.
Now, what is your greatest extravagance?
My greatest extravagance is going and buying books.
Yeah, makes sense.
I love books. I'm surrounded by books in the house. That's my greatest extravagance. Just idling my time away with my wife, just going out, walking, doing things that have no real urgency, but just makes you happy being in the present.
Yeah.
So that's
true. Those days it's kind of an extravagance actually.
That's right. Yeah.
We don't do that anymore. We're always running after time. We're always running to do something. Check. Yeah. So it's I believe before was something different, but now the time concept is a pure extravagance.
That's
indeed.
Right. So just to slow down and not do anything. As I age, I guess it's an extravagant, but it's also a luxury. It's a luxury,
True,
right?
True.
Yeah.
Nice. Now, what is your current state of mind?
My current state of mind is very calm. And also, there is a kind of what I like to term as a permanent beta. I'm always in draft form, trying and testing and experimenting. I don't need all the answers. I don't need all the perfect answers. I'm just testing and experimenting and constantly learning. It's a kind of curiosity.
Yeah.
I'm actually very curious about a lot of stuff, and I'm happy to be in the space I am right now in. So my state of mind is calmness, a little bit of restlessness about, oh, I want to learn this or that kind of a state.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. Now, what do you consider the most overrated virtue?
The most overrated virtue is a few things. One is respectability, because I feel that is a kind of conformity dressed in, trying to be compliant or trying to fit in.
Yeah, I understand.
So I think that's a little overrated. The other is this so-called passion that people talk about. Oh, you got to have passion, this kind of things. I think it's rather overrated.
It's not easy to find your passion, to be honest with you.
I think that you just have to do what you need to do, right? Yeah.
Some might have, but I don't think it is for everyone.
Yeah. So,
True.
so that's, to me, is
Okay.
overrated. Yeah.
Passion and respectability. Oh, good.
Yeah.
On what occasion do you lie?
I think I'm quite maximally truth seeking in a way. So lie, I feel that not lie. I just think that if the timing is not right for the truth, then don't say anything.
Okay.
And truth will reveal itself over time. And maybe the timing is more than a black or white, whether I lie or don't lie.
Yeah.
So I just think that sometimes you want to say something, but if you step back, let time pass, you can say it in the same way, but it will be taken in a better format.
I understand.
Yeah, it's
It's,
more being time sensitive.
It's an interesting perspective, indeed.
Thank you. Yeah.
All right. Now, what do you most dislike about your appearance, if anything? Some people, they say nothing, which is very good, I feel. But it's not for everyone.
What do I most dislike about my appearance? I don't like my tummy, but at my age, I'm just grateful that I'm healthy and I have most of whatever limbs are working.
True.
And I can do my sport, my swims and whatever, So I really don't associate myself with my body that much. I just think that I need to keep it healthy and that's about it. Yeah. Nothing that I hate. Not that everything is perfect, but I think you come to a sense of acceptance of things. Yeah.
Nice. Now, new question. Which living person do you most despise? So be careful. Late 19th century, early 20th, in this kind of circle, intellectual. You could basically say names, but here, social media times, it's more complicated. So it's more like which kind of living person, I would think.
Yeah,
do you most despise?
I despise arrogant people. I despise
what you were saying.
I despise arrogant people. I despise people who are doing things for the ego and all that. I don't want to say despise because there is really no like or dislike. But I think those kind of things is like in your face. So I just stay away from that people. Or if I can help them, then I would like to help them. Yeah.
I understand.
Yeah.
Also, despise is an interesting word I was thinking as well when I discovered the questionnaire because it's a very strong word.
Very strong word. Yeah.
And I feel it's back in time might have been so much. There were a lot into that period of time in Europe, especially, was a lot about reflection and seeking into yourself and thinking about this and that. So despise was really like about emotions, We're not into that kind of emotional society anymore. So I feel it's a bit too much for us today.
Yeah, that's fine. But I think it's a good word in a way that we are not sugarcoating anything.
Sure.
That we accept that we despise. I do despise. I mean, in a way, stay away from people who are very egoistic, right? Because it's very disturbing to you. Yeah.
It can be a safe word.
Yeah.
To know that. Indeed. So now, what is the quality you must like in a man, as in gender man?
Someone, very interesting question. Someone who who's vulnerable, definitely, who's not afraid to say he's wrong, uh, is not afraid to say that he's sorry. Someone who has a high level of integrity, and I like, if you're talking about gender, men like that who is really don't have a problem by saying, "Hey, you know what? I'm sorry," even to his children, or even to his
Mm,
someone younger. It's okay. I think someone who's vulnerable.
okay.
Yeah,
And so, same question for women. What is the quality you must like in a woman?
like or this
Like,
most
like,
like.
like.
Oh, I like women who have depth, who have a lot of depth, um, grace, of course. When I mean by depth is ability to listen very deeply and also have conversations that are meaningful. Uh, and I like conversations, so that's something that I like. I really admire, whether men or women, but to answer your question, women who have depth, wisdom, and grace, maybe.
Mm,
Yeah.
understand. Now, which words or phrases do you most overuse if you're aware of it?
Oh, I think the words I most overuse is presence, uh, just act, just do something, don't wait. The other probably is have awareness. Did I say that just now? No, presence.
Mhm,
Yeah.
mhm.
Yeah, I guess those are some of the words
The
that I
keywords, yeah.
overuse. Yeah.
Okay.
Mm.
Now, what or who is the greatest love of your life?
Of course, it's my wife, my children, my two dogs.
Hmm.
Those are unquestionably people that I love. I also love some of my friends. I quite like. They are good people. Yeah, and I love the time that I have. I've left in this planet. I don't know how much
Sure,
time.
sure. That's a good one. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
You don't know when it will stop. So
yeah. So I love to have this time, and actually I love my work very much. I find there is a lot of rapture. That means I feel completely in the flow when I'm doing my work. Yeah,
that is a nice feeling.
yeah. Mm.
All right. Now, when and where were you happiest?
When and where am I happiest? Again, I think happiness is choice. Again, I can be happy anywhere. I was happy waiting for you.
Hmm.
Just
Because I
silence.
was late.
No, but yeah, I'm happy between my thoughts. When I can just observe my thoughts moving
Mm,
about cloudy, then I'm not attached to it. I'm happy. Of
okay.
course, I'm happy in around my books. I'm happy taking a long walk with my two dogs. I'm happy around that time. I'm happy to swim. A nice cup of coffee makes me happy. Um, and this conversation that we are having now is a great feeling to be here, to listen to questions hundreds of years ago,
It's nice, right?
and and human beings don't really change, right? With all the technology,
Exactly.
human beings don't change. We are such ancient creatures, and to think about how Proust thought about it is interesting. So
It is.
this makes me happy. It's actually very I must say it's a very unique kind of a podcast I'm on, because generally it's all about business or what have you done or whatever. This is really goes deep into me, so it resonates with me. So I'm happy now.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm happy to have you here because I know Dash just for a week, but already I see how much of depth of thinking you have. and how much you like it.
I love it.
But not as, some people, they love to listen to themselves, to hear themselves thinking,
okay.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's not that. You're really questioning,
Yeah.
wanting to know more, you're
yeah.
curious. Really.
Yes, I'm very curious.
So,
I'm a truth seeker from the time
yeah.
I was a little boy.
Yeah, I feel it's deeply here for you.
Yeah.
So I really appreciate your
Thank you.
way, your take on happiness, which is I'm trying to be happy everywhere.
Yeah,
Again, it's seeking something here.
Yeah.
It's not for everyone though to be happy
No.
and content everywhere, but
Everywhere,
that's such a great ambition.
Yes.
I like it.
Thank you.
Thank you. Now, which talent would you like most to have? And that can be anything. We had quite a lot of revelations on this podcast already.
Okay, I like to be. Which talent did you
Talent,
say?
yes.
Okay.
Yes. That obviously you don't have or don't nail.
I love to be able to speak well, to be more articulate.
Okay. Which you don't feel you are.
I don't know.
Okay.
Okay, to be more articulate. I see some podcasts where the speakers are great storytellers and they are very, very articulate. The talent is something that I like to have. Maybe I like to be able to play a musical instrument.
Oh, yes.
Yeah,
me too.
Nothing fancy. Maybe the harmonica.
Oh, okay.
Which I can carry in my pocket and play anywhere.
Yes.
You know?
Correct.
So it's been in my mind for long, then I pushed it away. So yeah, maybe a storytelling, articulation of ideas, ability to more be present and listen to someone without being distracted. Music, being more human is something that I think a talent that I would like to learn a bit more. And I'm learning every day.
True.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay. Now, if you could change one thing about yourself, what would it be?
Okay, now you're pushing me to the depth of what I believe. So I do not believe in a permanent dash self, right? I come from this philosophical belief there is really no self. So I feel that I'm always changing. I'm always in a state of flux, right? So yeah, if I need to go and scold Dash yesterday, it's just don't be so impatient. You don't have to be so blunt with someone.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm constantly wanting to change a little part of whatever it is.
Yeah.
Like I say, I'm in a state of permanent beta, so I'm never perfect. Always becoming. So always saying change. Change is a state of
Yeah.
being.
Yeah. Correct. Okay, that makes sense about what you have said earlier. Indeed.
Yeah.
All right. Now, what do you consider your greatest achievement?
My greatest achievement is to be here now.
Be present.
That's it. Yeah.
And I must say, it's very difficult.
Yeah.
So I appreciate that it can be an achievement here.
Yeah.
Especially in this society. Nice. Now it's pushing you even more. If you were to die and come back as a person or a thing, what would that be?
So I just said a few questions earlier. I believe in the no self, right? So which basically means there is no coming back. But if there is a theory of coming back, what would I like to come back as? I don't know. Maybe a tree, deeply rooted, just silently standing there, watching everything. A 300-year-old tree. So I can see how AI is going to unfold.
Oh, yeah.
How the world is going to change. I don't know. You know?
Yeah. On that part, yes, I like it.
Yeah, so I don't know. I'm not sure. Yeah.
Something that could survive many generations.
Many generations to watch
and observe.
See and observe. Yeah.
Some kind of ability to go into the future.
That's
sometimes.
Right. Yeah.
That's a nice one.
Yeah.
Never thought of it that way. All right, now more concrete. Where would you like to live? Can be a specific place or just a kind of environment, feeling?
My immediate answer is to live between my thoughts, okay, in the silence of my thoughts.
Yeah, conceptual.
Yeah, I love where I live now. I love Malaysia. I mean, if you want to talk about geographically, I traveled quite a bit. I've seen quite a bit. Not as much as I like, but I like where I live. And also, for me, home is where I can have my loved ones around. My wife is there. So it's simple. I have no real desire to go away anywhere. Yeah.
Understand. Now, what is your most treasured possession? And it's not specifically an object, it can be something more immaterial.
My most treasured possession. So this is going to be a bit weird for your uh, for your listeners. My treasure, like I said earlier, my treasured possession or is a non-possession of an ego. All right,
Yeah,
that I
yeah.
can see the ego is fleeting
Yes.
and impermanent. Is the idea of impermanence could everything is impermanent. So that could be my strongest awareness instead of a possession.
Mm.
Yeah.
That's an answer indeed to that question.
Yes.
Interesting. All right. Now, what do you regard as the lowest depth of misery?
It's a difficult question.
It is, right? Yeah, it's very difficult.
Yeah, lowest depth of misery.
Yes.
Is an unfulfilled life, a life living on somebody else's script. I have been miserable trying to fit in a corporate culture many years ago. Living in other people's expectations, I think, is the lowest form of misery.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And yeah, I understand what you're
Yeah.
saying here. Now, what is your favorite occupation?
What I'm doing now.
Yeah.
Basically, I love to talk to people to see whether I can help them shift their perspective, awaken a sense of purpose in them. And so that's why I turned it into a business to unstuck the stuckness, right? So I'm I call myself a kind of a wayfinder, helping people who don't have a map to say you don't need a map, just, like a compass. Yeah. That's what it is.
What is your most marked characteristic?
My most marked characteristics is this fluidity. I think it's just that fluidity. I mean, I don't know whether people ascribe a certain personality to me or what. I don't know, but I have no such glorification of that. It's just that I'm just going.
Okay.
Just doing my stuff.
Okay.
Living my bliss.
Yes.
Yeah.
I understand. What is it that you most value in your friends?
What is it that I value in my friends? I love friends who has a deep sense of awareness of themselves, who listen, who speak thoughtfully. I love friends who celebrate other people's success, which I like to do. I love friends who give you time, and basically, I wish I'm the same with them. Those are kind of friends. I mean, I don't like friends who are there because they think you are somebody, or
In that case, they're
the
not
kind
really
of
friends.
I don't like those kind of people, and I can see it very quickly. So I like friends who are authentic, natural. Yeah.
Okay. So that is a question really for you, this one. Who are your favorite writers?
Oh my goodness.
So I'm a goal that you are reading. Can you pick one?
One,
or
two. I'm reading quite a lot of. So there is books on history. I'm reading now. Philosophy. I'm reading. Uh, Science. Something that I'm reading. Some of the this is the way I'll answer it. Some of the authors that has made an impression on me in my young age was Richard Bach. He wrote this book, many books, but the thing that really changed me was Jonathan Livingston Seagull. Then subsequently, Robert Persick wrote Zen and the Art of Motorcycle Maintenance. I just read it many times. Of course, I read the Hindu scriptures like the Ramayana and the Mahabharata and all those kind of stuff. And lately, I've been reading a little bit of Indian history, like Manu S. Pillai, William Dalrymple. These are writers. Of Western philosophy, I'm reading John Card now and Julian Baggini, if I'm not mistaken. I'm very bad with names. Jonathan.
Though the list is pretty impressive because
Yeah.
you spotted.
Yeah, Jonathan.
Exactly.
Yeah, I'm just looking at my bookshelf from my
Yeah.
mind's eye, right?
Yes, yes.
Jonathan Hyde is someone I really like to read because some of his books are fantastic. Ramachandra Guha is another writer who's amazing. Writes about philosophy. There's one more coming to me, but I cannot put a name to it now. But his book is coming in front of me, but I can't.
Yeah.
I can't remember. So
That's okay.
forgive me.
Honestly, I can't. I love reading. I love a specific genre. I should know them by heart. I am unable to say one name.
Right.
It's crazy. Though I love those particular authors.
Authors.
So
yeah.
already the list is impressive for someone
Yeah.
that might not be completely accurate. with
Yeah,
things,
yeah.
know?
It's like Alain de Botton is someone I love. It's amazing. Yeah. Okay.
Okay,
Mhm.
good. So amongst all of those books, do you have any hero of fiction?
Hero of fiction.
Mhm.
Hero of fiction, yes. So now you're pulling me back to my childhood, younger days. Herman Hesse is a great writer, and he wrote Siddhartha.
Mhm.
It's actually a fictionalized story of the Buddha,
Yep.
but I like that character of Siddhartha in that book.
Okay.
So that's a fictionalized
Yep.
hero.
Yep.
Because he's a seeker and he finds the truth,
True.
goes back to the world, lives in the world. So I guess it's quite interesting. Yeah.
Nice. And so now, which historical figure do you most identify with? So we are in real life here.
Historical
Yeah.
figure. Ooh, I have no idea.
Which is okay. Maybe a kind of historical figure?
No, I like a characteristic of historical figures. Maybe the king. There in our scriptures, there's a King Janaka. There's a king who is basically could be alive, could have lived, or could be a myth. I don't know. I think he's very wise. He's got a lot of wisdom. He's got very enlightened, but he ruled with a lot of fairness. So I like people who are rooted in themselves, but at the same time very efficient and effective and in the world. I think those are the kind of people that are neither they are not becoming monks or whatever.
Yep.
Neither are they like fully
Too grounded.
So they are people who can straddle both worlds. I like people like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Speaking of heroes, who are your heroes in life? In real life?
Like I said, my uncle that I mentioned earlier, I think he's sort of a hero to live up to. He's the gentleness, the kindness, and how people see him. I have no other heroes. Maybe,
that's good
maybe
You have one already, which is, you
maybe
can
there are
identify.
many other heroes which I can't think of right now.
Sure. No problem at all.
Yeah.
We will stay on your uncle, which is a nice story. So.
Yeah.
Okay. What are, this is very light here, your favorite names?
My favorite name.
Yeah.
Dash.
Dash?
No,
Yeah.
no, no.
You
It's
know, I
easy.
had guests
No,
saying
no.
their names because, well, why not?
No,
you know?
no. Yeah, that's one thing. I mean, names that are that people's names. Are you saying? Oh, people's names are like which has really carried a lot of weight in this world is people like the Tata, the founders of Tata, the Jamshedji Tata is a great industrialist.
Yep.
There's no greed in him.
True.
He built a real empire,
Yeah.
and he changed a lot of people, changed the world, changed the country. So those kinds of names are enduring names, names that endure. The kind of names I like are names that endure, that has moved the history, moved the needle for human. Yeah.
Nice. Inspirational.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, what is it that you most dislike?
What is it that I most dislike in a person?
In general, can be really, really broad.
Oh, what is it that I most dislike?
Can be situational, can be a type of person, can be a thing.
I dislike conformity.
Mm-hmm.
People trying to fit in, trying to be conforming. This is how it should be. That is how it should be. I just get tired of these things. Yeah.
Okay. Now, what is your greatest regret? I'm not sure that question is for you after what you have said, but
Probably. Maybe I had the courage to live my truth earlier.
Okay.
You
Yeah.
know? Maybe I made a mistake by also trying to fit in, which wasn't my happy period. But maybe my biggest regret could be that, that I was didn't live my truth earlier.
Understand.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, how would you like to die?
Oh, this is something I've thought of many times. How I would like to die?
Yeah.
I like to die physically dead, right? Yeah.
Yes, as in
Yeah,
you're no
This
longer
is
here.
after a nice party in the house,
Okay.
at my
Yeah.
home,
Yeah.
a nice dinner with friends and family and whatever. I don't drink much anymore. I mean, I drink once in a while. Maybe a nice glass of wine, the last
The latest,
as a
yeah.
legacy, the latest, and then just go and sit down and just go. Yeah,
Peacefully.
yeah,
Nice. And filled in.
yes.
Fulfilled, my English.
Fulfilled, filled in.
Filled in is for the wine,
Yeah,
fulfilled in for
yeah.
the soul, yeah?
That's right, yes.
That is where my English sometimes is a bit wobbly.
No, it's
All right, 35 question. We are at the latest one now. What is your motto?
memento mori. Oh,
Latin, translate that for me.
You too will die. Something like that.
Okay. That must be in a lot of Roman history thing, I guess.
Yeah, I think memento mori is not. I don't know whether it's Latin. Is it Latin?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
From the sound of it.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we have achieved the 35 questions.
Thank you.
How you feel?
I feel I'm a little closer to Marcel Proust.
Yeah, right. Huh? I feel as well like there's something that goes from far a little bit further up to us just through those questions.
Right. Yeah. I think, yeah.
And you know what I will pass to you because I'm sure you will like it. There is the real. So I told you Proust had taken this questionnaire and he left the manuscript of it.
Oh.
It's in French, but also in English because back then those intellectuals, they were multilingual. Yeah. So I will pass it to you because it's available online. Oh. And it's very interesting to see how he himself was considering those questions. And I think it will appeal your thinker mind.
Beautiful. Yes.
I'll do that later.
Thank you.
This episode is also sponsored by Hippies, and I want to thank you for supporting this show. Hippies is the go-to talent partner for scaling up startups in Malaysia and across Southeast Asia. Whether you're building your first tech team or recruiting that game-changing head of growth, Hippies gets it done. They're not your typical recruiters. They are builders themselves, backed by real industry experience and a strong regional presence in Malaysia, Singapore, and Indonesia. Hippies Tribe is fast, sharp, and human. They don't just fill roles. They help you build momentum. And if you're a candidate listening, trust me, they will help you find a role that feels right, not just one that looks good on paper. This is what I really value in Hippies. They come from the field, from the real startup ecosystem. They too know what building a startup or working in that fast-paced and demanding environment means. Like they say, Hippies is for the bold, by the bold. So check them out on hippies.com or drop them a DM on LinkedIn.
So now, after the person, we speak company, and we speak about Act 2. So can you do a 1-minute elevator pitch about Act 2? We're a startup world here. 1-minute elevator pitch. Even if you don't pitch anymore, I guess, but.
Yeah. So Act Two basically came about from my own stuckness, if you may, to find what I should do next. Whatever that you have come to do, you find it's not fulfilling anymore. You feel there's no meaning anymore, or it's not relevant anymore, because people need to constantly change. But we are attached to our egos, we are attached to our past persona. So people come to a point. I think Joseph Campbell has said this, Carl Jung has said, every philosopher has said this. You come to a point of a calling where you need to respond, and you have a few choices: to turn your back away and ignore and say, "Go back. I'm going to go back and do what I want to do," or you say, "I take the challenge." The challenge can be very painful, and you can back off and go away, because the stuckness is you may have to give up your entire past persona, right? However, you don't have to as well. You may still continue doing whatever you're doing, but now you're doing it differently. So Act Two started off with that, but I need to commercialize that. So I started it off with people who are transitioning from employment to entrepreneurship, people who said, okay, I enough of work. I want to start my own company, not to build a unicorn or anything of that sort or raise money. I want to do is a kind of a fulfillment. And now Act Two is becoming also being embraced by organizations to say, this is how we have been. Now we need to reframe ourselves. We need to rethink with AI coming or whatever. It's not about reskilling, but it's about reframing. It's about acting in a manner of unknowingness. I don't know how to act. How do I act now? How do I change my actions, my personality, my thinking? Because you cannot depend on your old maps anymore. So Act Two helps people leverage on, use uncertainty as a resource, as a fuel to do the next act little by little. So to guide them to do, to get people to be more grounded on the next thing that they want to do.
Okay.
Yeah. So it is solving for stuckness, as I would very simply put. I'm not sure if that's a pitch, but that's what Act Two is about.
Okay. Very
So
nice.
we have taken people from employment and they say, look, I've lost my job, or I'm leaving my job, I want to go into become an entrepreneur. We take them on a journey of self-discovery in a way, who you are, what you know, who you know, and that discovery actually unpacks a lot of things for people. Some of them say, I've never asked these questions myself like these.
Yeah.
Right now, how do I shape myself to the next thing? Oh, that's a beautiful journey they've taken. Companies feel this way. Oh my God, how can we take a small group of people to see differently, to act differently? And I've just done a program for a company. They thought it was really empowering that they think differently.
Nice.
So there's a lot of practical ways I'm doing. I'm doing this with my wife, who's the co-founder of Act Two. I mean, I started it and then I convinced her, and she's walking this journey with me. She has reinvented herself many, many times. So she knows this very well. And that's what we are doing together. And we are inviting collaborators, we are inviting people to come to weave this, what my guru in entrepreneurship, Professor Saraswati, calls a crazy quilt, together with us. I think we can't do it ourselves. This cannot be just a two-person team. We want more collaborators. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you started to hint a bit about more details about your organization. So this is where we're going now.
Yeah.
So now I'm going to ask you 4 questions.
Yeah.
But the questions are my way. I'm a brand strategist, as you know it. And
Yes.
so we'll go through that angle.
Okay.
The very question that I actually ask my clients when we start digging down into their brand and try to unearth something.
Okay. So more difficult than Marcel Proust.
No, actually, it's pretty much the same. Actually,
Same.
in a way, it's a bit the same.
Okay.
Because it's about the deep thinking here.
Yes.
Yeah?
Okay.
So the first one is, why, as an organization, Act Two, are you on Earth for?
So to create a shift in perspectives. That's what our reason to exist Yeah.
Okay. Now, what people do you want to resonate with? And I think we got a hint in the latest elevator pitch.
Yeah. So we are not for everyone. We are for people who want to make a mark in the world, right? We are for people who are thoughtful, who say, I will take the calling seriously and make the second half of my life greater than my first half was. Not that the first half of my life was anything bad, but I can weave a beautiful story of my first half of life and use it as a fuel to launch myself again. We are all going to live for a long, long time. So for individuals, it is about making the second half of life meaningful, not looking for meaning, but meaningful. Capture your rapture, to say, and for companies too. How does companies build for endurance? When a small group of people are actually looking at changing their mindsets. No, mindset is another bad word. Ability to shift their mind, and work with what they already have as a resource to take the next act. Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Those
So
are my
indeed,
kind of.
not everyone.
Yeah, yeah.
So now, how different, are you from your competitors?
When I build something, I do not think too much about competition. Yeah. I completely disregard competition, I am not here to build another company, to build another business model for another, whatever it is. I'm here to make real change. So I'm not competition focused here.
Okay, not a problem. Latest question. What do you promise to those people that you want to resonate with?
I think they would learn to create the next act without waiting for the perfect plan. That's my promise. Yeah.
Okay, nice.
Yeah.
So now, what is it that you can share with us? Any hot news you want to share with us?
Yes. On the 17th of June, I'm having a 1 day, I think it's a half a day program with my partners called Hatch Asia. They're a great bunch of founders who have started this search consulting human resource company, and my company, Act Two, coming together. Dash Insights is Act Two is owned by a company called Dash Insights, Sanjay Bahat. We are putting together this program at the Asia School of Business. It's a leading in the age of the unknown, something like that. It's a great half a day program. We want leaders to come. We want people who are decision makers to come. It's HRDF claimable. Just come for half a day. It's nothing to lose. You know?
I think it's spot on with the era.
Yeah.
Live with uncertainty, make decision as a business leader in
Yeah.
a certain world. How do you do that?
That's right. Yeah.
Very nice.
And uncertainty is is not suddenly something that you can forget about. It is there, here to stay.
Yep.
Yeah.
And it was there forever.
Forever. Yes, correct. It's there forever.
Yeah.
More pronounced now though.
Yeah. All right. Where can we find you and Act 2 online?
Website Act 2 is act2.life.
Okay.
.life. Me is dashinsights.com. That's
all right.
it. Yeah.
And we will put all the links in the YouTube channel.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Vanessa.
That's a wrap. So glad to have you and share more than last week together.
Thank you so much,
Thank you.
Vanessa. Cheers.
Cheers.
Bye-bye.